corporate executives love to do interviews claiming that AI isn't actually coming to disrupt real human jobs, but the reality is that the retail space is telling a completely different story, and Rainbow Shop is quietly taking pictures of clothes on a tabletop and using AI to slap them onto real models without their permission. And let's talk about it.
One more data point. So KPMG does a survey, does a CEO survey, I forget how many times a year. So they asked 500 CEOs, would you, because due to AI, are you going to increase your headcount, decrease your headcount, or keep it the same? Only 10% said decrease their headcount. Only 10 out of 100, right? It was, 45, I think, was increase and 55 was keep the same. Again, this narrative that some of the heads of the AI companies are pushing in terms of these massive job disruptions, I don't know if they're doing it to pump, their stock or their IPO. Again, I'm struggling to see any real world examples where that has actually, come about. We've tried it to, again, I'm in the fast fashion space. I launch 1,500 SKUs a day.
Rainbow Shops and how they're not paying their models properly. But I did want to say a lot of this is alleged, and some of the stuff that I have, there is proof behind it. And I'm going to put it on screen for you guys. Now, who is that man? That is David Cost. And I'm sure what you just heard was he said that CEOs are, like a percentage of them, are trying to, keep people on rather than let go people because they're not trying to use AI to get rid of people. And for him, that is just not true in my honest opinion. And the reason why he is the front face of this is because Rainbow Shops is using AI and replacing their models, but they're also taking advantage of their models, in my personal opinion. Okay, so we're going to go over the controversy about Rainbow Shops. So this is Rainbow Shops. They have a lot of smaller websites that also sell the same stuff. They sell for all kinds of women, and they sell for all kinds of women, plus size, whatever. But that's not the point. The point is that now these are real people, right? They might have had different clothes on at some point, but what they're doing is taking these models and putting them in photos that they didn't ask for and using their likeness, not paying them for their likeness. And then on top of that, they're using AI to just change the clothes and use these photos. And if you guys don't believe me, let's look for a second. So I'm going to do this right now. We're going to take this and we're going to go over to Google Gemini and we're just, oh my God, go away. We're going to ask, does this have a synth ID? And I'm just going to let it wait so you guys can see. It says here, the image contains a synth ID digital watermark indicating that most or all of the image was edited or generated using Google AI. And let's take another photo, right? We'll just take another photo. I'm just going to pick this one at random. And we're going to go back here and I'm going to paste it in and I'm going to ask the same thing. Does this one have a synth ID? It should be easy, right? Because that's how this works. Why do we have secrets when it comes to David Cost using AI on his models? It says this image contains a synth digital watermark indicating that part of the image was edited or generated using Google AI. Now, somebody sent me this picture a while ago, and I put this right in. So this is the real model, and it says this image does not contain a synth ID, meaning it was not created by AI. But let's try this one. As you can see, it's connecting, and it says this image was generated with Google AI and contains a synth ID digital watermark. So, and that image is right here. And I'm sure that that whatever they were wearing or whatever, because if you have the person and you have a thing, or they're wearing something different, you can literally just reuse it and say, can you put this person in this outfit? And it will. And this is where we're going to see where AI is going to be used, but people aren't going to be able to tell because they're using a real person who might have had a real photo and they maybe asked for one or two small changes of the photo. But I mean, you can kind of tell in this weird way that these kind of poses are very typical of AI. So, I mean, I'm sure if we looked deep into these pictures, we would probably see more problems. Now, because Rainbow Shops is a fast fashion chain, they value priced clothing, hundreds of stores, and people who mostly shop based on price. So this is for people who are poor, the poors, okay? This brand specifically lives and dies on volume. New looks all the time, new images constantly. Every product needs a photo, and every photo needs a model, a photographer, a studio, a stylist, all that stuff, right? So based on what he said, he's not trying to get rid of the people who are corporate. He's trying to get rid of the talent and say, oh, well, we have your likeness, so we're just gonna have at it. And on top of that, I want to talk about this woman right here. Her name is Francesca. And if you see all this right here on the sides and including this, none of these are actually her. She is not sitting in this. These are not her. At one point, someone took a photo of her and now they're just going to reuse it for every single outfit. And this is how she makes her living. So they've reused her several times, as you can see here on the sides, and they've not paid her for it. And what did they do? After her contract expired, she accused them of using her likeness in AI images that she didn't approve. She sent a cease and desist letter back in March when the contract expired, but Rainbow completely ignored it. And not only is she not being paid for these images, right? They have been put in pictures that would hurt her image. And when contacted by the New York Post, Rainbow denied any wrongdoing, stated, "We use our images properly and there's no violation of her rights." So this is the problem, is that people own their likeness, people own their voices, and that's why you saw, what was it? I believe it was Taylor Swift or somebody copywriting their voice because they don't want their voice used in AI. And this is just another thing. People don't want their likeness to be used in AI without their permission, where somebody is getting something off of it. Because what it says to me is that Rainbow Shops and others like it say we can keep the face and throw away the person. And here's straight up proof. It says how Gemini nanobanana is reshaping fashion and product photography with AI images. Here is a person, here's a thing, and then they put the person in that thing wearing whatever it is they're wearing. Now, they didn't ask you to do that, you just took it and you did it. And I want to show you, this is just him admitting how it works and what they're doing. Well, I just want you guys real quick to be able to hear what he says directly from his own mouth, not me.
Tell you kind of a quick story on this. We're working with a generative AI image startup called Leica, L-I-C-A. I mean, it's amazing what the people at Leica have been able to do. We're using them for product photography. We're also using them for editorial or things that you would see on a homepage or in an email. So when they were showing us the editorial tool, they had their own internal people produce some images to show us as examples that they were really proud of. They turned it over to our creative director, who started playing with it. And when they saw what she was able to get the tool to do, even they, as the creator of the tool, were blown away. So in a super creative human's hands, they were able to get so much more out of the thing that they built than they were able to do themselves. Again, to me, this is yet kind of another example in this new world of AI. A human needs to learn how to use it, and you can very basic, just throw the article clothing on any person to just see how it hangs on a body. We then give that to the AI and it puts it on a model. We're also now experimenting with just throwing it down on a tabletop. So we're literally taking it, out of the bag that it comes in, putting it on a tabletop, taking a picture, from on top down, and then feeding the AI those, kind of a front and back of that tabletop image. And it is then doing kind of the composing to get that actually on a human.
So he said it right there. He said that they have a process. They have taken that process and started using it. They have a way to do it where they just put it on a table and then take a picture of it, and then they put it on a person. Now, who is the person? People that they used to have as their models. Now, I have it on a OK authority. I'm not going to say who it is, but one of the reasons why these models didn't get paid and they were let go is because they were threatened to get fired if they don't sign a contract with an AI clause, even though they already committed the act of using it without their permission. I have an excerpt from that contract. Let's read it over. 3. Technology and derivative uses. Without limiting the foregoing rights, the model acknowledges that Rainbow may use, edit, adapt, enhance, or otherwise process in whole or in part or in composite, distorted, cropped, altered, retouched, or otherwise modified the content using various technologies, tools, or product methods now known or later developed, including automated or computer-assisted techniques for the purposes consistent with advertising, marketing, merchandising, and related retail promotional uses. The parties intend that this provision be interpreted broadly in connection with Rainbow's business without materially misrepresenting the model. Now, if you're not familiar, this is basically legalese where we basically own your face and your likeness, and we can do whatever we want with it after we have pictures of you. And if they refuse to sign it, which many of them have refused to sign it, they fired them because they're basically signing away their rights that they can do whatever they want to the model's photos forever. Because when we go look back at Francesca's issues, you see this picture here that's clearly AI generated? She has said that this picture here, in her opinion, is very crude, and there's another picture too. It's hard to see, but it's this one. She said she really didn't like this picture. She would not have posed for this way. And when it came to Francesca, of course, she settled out of court because obviously she can't do everything. But I feel that maybe the lawyers didn't at the time know about synthid because it was literally true that they used AI images and you can just scan them and just check them. But synthid was super new, and even when one of the models came to me and told me directly that they were using AI, I checked them through, and I could show you on, March 25th at 9:31 a.m. I found this image here on their website, and I ran it as, does this have a synthid? And it says part of this image was edited or generated with Google AI. So there is proof that I was doing that. And this has been a thing for a minute too. So in my opinion, I feel kind of bad for Francesca because, I also feel bad that maybe if I would have had maybe a connection with her, I did sort of, but maybe if I would have sent that over, she would have had something for her lawyers because the thing was over in a week. And I'm sure that they paid her under the table or something. But the problem is the issue with the lawsuit started in September 2024 before there was a synthid because it would place her in new settings and stuff like that. And she said it was a violation of New York's right to privacy law. And she filed back in May 29th. That was a few months after somebody had came to me with this issue. And Rainbow has denied doing any wrongdoing, but they are totally doing it. They have been doing it. And they have been telling their models that if you don't sign the new contract, they're over. But thankfully, there is resolution to this. But I still feel that if you guys are looking for fast fashion and fashion in general, maybe you guys should run some of those images through a synthid and then maybe send it my way, possibly. Because, I don't know if there's no real resolution to this issue because the New York Fashion Workers Act that was signed by Governor Kathy Hochul in December of 2024, and then it was effective last year, around this time, it requires clients to obtain clear written approval before creating or using a model's digital replica, digital scope, purpose, rate of pay, and duration. And penalties can run from $3,000 to $5,000 with a private right of action. Because if that thing was working properly, she should be getting some licensing fees because her professional image was being tarnished. And if you guys kind of like this video or you want me to do more like this, feel free to subscribe and go over to my Patreon if you want to support my channel and look over my art and my stories and all my stuff. And the thing is it just kind of sucks because I saw somewhere on some other websites, that some other news sites, that people say that nobody cares about models and customers don't care. And I don't believe that. I just don't believe that because a lot of people know about models. A lot of people some models that you have probably enjoyed probably a few years ago, some of them have become actors and actresses. What was it? Something Boyd. He was in the Neil Gaiman TV show. I can't remember the TV show offhand, but he has been in a lot of movies and he's a very interesting actor. And we would not have him if people were just well, we're just going to take your likeness and use it and you're not going to get paid for it and you're not going to get any credit. This is, illustrators are being bothered about using AI, and now it's the models that are full ass being replaced with AI. And Rainbow Shops is not the only one. There's other places doing it too. big fashion, the ones that have the money to fucking spare. This whole forced AI adoption shit is annoying as fuck to me, because this just comes back to consent, credit, and pay. You need to pay the creatives, okay? You got to pay them. Stop, can y'all stop? Jesus Christ. And I think that because no one has been checking these images to see if they're AI generated, that no one is thinking that they're going to get caught, because obviously they're going to get caught. And I am happy that a lot of AI generators are now using synth IDs. I think every single one should use a synth ID and not tell people. And you can check for it. I think they should all do that. Immediately you take an image, you put it in, it says, yes, it's a synth ID or not. And I sat on this story for a minute because I needed more information. And if I would, and all of this information is just kind of coming out now, and I wanted to make sure that people could see it. So if you guys could seriously do that little hype thing, make a comment, just, I don't know, just do something. I would like this video to get around, because my video is the only one that has the evidence showing that they did use, and they are still using, Google Images, and likely not paying those people. I don't know if they are, but they're being forced to sign away their rights or be fired. That's the real of it. And that's exploitative. That's evil. That's evil. It's evil. And I wanted to thank you guys for coming in today. And if you stayed to the end, I don't know, comment the nails. The nails, like the painting the nails emoji. Do that one. Okay, I will see you in the next one, guys. Peace out.